Hey friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing 5 plaid Dollar Tree DIYs for Christmas. For the first one, you're going to need a couple of these little mini wreaths that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. I picked a white one and a red one. You're also going to need one of their scarves. Now, because this is plaid themed, I picked a plaid one, and one of their foam wreaths. And to begin, I'm just going to fold the scarf in half, just so that I know that I'm going to be starting at the top and I can work my way evenly down to the bottom. And I'm just going to wrap the scarf around the wreath, making sure that I spread it out enough that I can cover all of the green. You also want to make sure that you're pulling it tight as you go, and when you end, you'll have one of the pieces on the bottom of the wreath and one of the pieces at the top, and then you're just going to tie it really, really tight and spread out the pieces so that they lay right. And you're just going to move the scarf around to make sure that the green is all covered. Then I'm going to cut one of the mini wreaths in half, and I am going to hot glue the pieces on to where the knot would be. And you're going to see that I also just pull off some of the red berries from the other mini wreath because I want to make sure I brought in some of the red from the fleece scarf. Now, I didn't love how the pine cones were kind of loose and wobbly at the top, so I ended up cutting them off and just hot gluing them directly onto the scarf. I want to mention that I'm taking part in the Friend Friday hop that Heidi Sonbouls DIY hosts, and this is a hop, so when you're done with my video, you're going to want to go down in the description box and click on the next video in the hop, and you're going to want to continue around till you hop around to everyone's channel and you get back to mine. Then you know you didn't miss any of the Christmas DIYs. We are also having an amazing giveaway. It is perfect timing for Christmas. It is the $375 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter is leave a comment down below. Let me know which of my DIYs was your favorite. So for the next DIY, you're going to need 3 Dollar Tree frames. I picked these metal ones up a little while ago, but I have seen them back in the store. You're going to need some twine, any kind of ribbon of your choice, and I'm also going to be using the joy letters from this card and this plaid wrapping paper, all from the Dollar Tree. So to begin, I'm just going to remove the letters, and I want to make sure I keep the foam that's on the back of the letters because it will help give a 3-dimensional look to this piece when it's done. And I'm also going to remove the little clips that are at the top of these specific ones. I am just going to attach the 3 frames together. I am going to use some Gorilla Glue for more of a permanent hold, and for temporary hold, I am going to use the hot glue so that I can actually get this craft done for you guys. Now I'm just going to use some glue, and I'm going to glue the letters down onto the wrapping paper, and once it's dry, I'm going to cut the letters out. Then I'm going to remove the backings, and I'm going to embellish the little metal parts. I want to cover up where the clips were, and I'm just going to use some of this lace ribbon to do that with some hot glue. I'm going to put everything back together, and then I'm going to hot glue the letters Joy onto my sign. I played with putting some different embellishments like ribbons and greenery, but honestly, sometimes simple is best, and I just love how this Joy sign turned out. Now, if you're new to my channel, I want to introduce myself. I'm Julie. I do DIYs and home decor, and I do it on a budget. If you like those kind of videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos, as well as introduce yourself down in the comments so that I know that you're new. So for the next DIY, you're going to need some coasters and either one of the plaid wrapping papers that Dollar Tree sells. Again, I'm going to pick this Christmas plaid one because I love it. And I am simply going to trace it onto the wrapping paper, cut it out to fit, and Mod Podge it on. Now I do have a couple little tips for you. I go around with my fingernail to give it a nice edge, and then I'm going to, once it's completely dry, you want to make sure it's dry, sand off the edges so that there is a seamless edge. You don't want the paper to stick over the edge or anything like that, because this would make a really cute gift as well. And then you're going to just give it another coat on top with a Mod Podge. I do recommend doing a couple coats just to make sure that it is completely waterproof if someone put a cup on it. And this is how it turned out. And now you can make as many of these as you want and just wrap it in some twine in a bow, and you got a cool gift. For the next DIY, you're going to need one of these hats and one of these Christmas trees from the Dollar Tree. And I am just going to disassemble this tree so that I'm just working with the frame. And I am going to cut off the top of the hat because I decide that I don't like the top fuzzy part on the tree, but you could totally use the fuzzy part if you want. And then I just open it up at the seam, and I'm going to hot glue, very simply hot glue this on. And I just kind of roll it to keep, I want the fur to be at the very bottom. So you do kind of have to maneuver it a little bit, but it ends up working. And then once you get to the edge and you know exactly how much you need, just trim off the excess. And you're going to just hot glue the seam down. And you're going to see here, it kind of like all the layers start to come apart. So you have to glue the seam down and then glue all the pieces together so that it stays together. And then once it's dry, give it another little trim and you're done. In just a few minutes, you have a really interesting and unique buffalo check tree for Christmas. Now, for the next DIY, you're going to need one of these sled decorations, one of these chalkboard crop it stickers, this Noel card, and some of the buffalo check wrapping paper. And to begin, I'm going to sand it down because there is some glitter on it and it will make a very rough surface, and I would like it to be very smooth. And then I'm going to trace the main part of the sled onto the wrapping paper and cut it out. Again, I'm going to Mod Podge this wrapping paper onto the sled. Now, I don't know if you guys have a tip or something else I should have used, but my wrapping paper ended up getting kind of wrinkly. Now, I don't know if it's just because the wrapping paper is thin, or I tried really hard to make a very thin coat of Mod Podge, but maybe there's a different kind of glue I should have used. I'm not really sure. If you guys have any tips for future reference, I would love to hear any ideas that you guys have on how to keep the paper from becoming ripply. Now, I do cover a lot of it, but I still was not happy with the ripple. But I also did the same thing I did in the other craft, is sand down the edges so that it's nice and smooth. And I'm also going to trace out where I need to cut for the chalkboard, because that's going to stick right down the middle of my sled. And this sticker was great because I didn't have to glue anything. It just sticks right onto the sled and it stayed very permanent. And then I'm going to cut out the Noel letters from this card, and remove the wreath, keeping the little foam back on it, again to give it a 3D look. And then I'm just going to figure out where I want to place these so that it's in the center, and I'm going to hot glue the letters on. Actually, I don't hot glue. I'm sorry, I thought it was hot gluing. I Mod Podged them on. And then I gave this blue part at the top just a coat of brown, 2 coats of brown paint. It's not really going to be seen, but I kind of wanted to blend it in with the rest of the wooden part of the sleigh. And I'm going to use this floral pick, and I'm going to take all the pieces apart, and I'm going to use the whole thing. And I'm going to just hot glue it onto the top, playing around with how I want it to lay. And that's it. I think the sleigh looks absolutely adorable with the little buffalo check tree. I would love to know which of the DIYs was your favorite down in the comments. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're looking for some more inspiration after you're done with the hop, check out this link here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!